Hey guys, guess where I am? Haha, Venice, St. Mark's Square. Here's a little Basilica of St. Mark. It's an incredible place. If you've never been, I strongly encourage you to find one time in your life that you can come and visit. It's truly amazing. This is my second time here. I was here 33 years ago, exactly. My dad took me here and we went inside this church. And I tell you, it is a place filled with gold, absolutely incredible how it was built, and we don't build stuff like this anymore, so it's really amazing to see. But what I love about this place is history, and when you dig into history, you'll see that this is a place where Catholics were ruling, and there was no difference between church and state. And back then, in those days, if you disagreed with church, you were in big trouble. As a matter of fact, they had a prison not too far from here, and if you basically said something wrong, you will end up in that prison maybe for the rest of your life. There were punishments, even if you didn't bow down to the Pope, to the bishop or priest low enough, and you could end up in prison because of that. If simply the priest didn't like you because of, for whatever reason, you might end up in prison. The price for disagreeing with church was extremely high. Now today, as you guys know, there are still some religious groups that try to punish people for disagreeing with their religion, with death as well. I mean, there are countries where they still practice stoning to death for apostasy. But we really went really long way. Look at this. It's thousands of people that come here every year from all over the world. They come here, they watch this, what's being built here, from every religion, from every language, from every culture. They don't agree on the same thing. They don't believe the same thing, and they live in peace. They don't try to kill each other. They don't try to point out, oh, you know what, this guy did something wrong, therefore he should end up in prison. We are living in peace, and yet, because of the propaganda, a lot of people think, like JWs, that we're living in the last days, and places like this will be destroyed. When I was here last time, and I was only 12 years old, I remember thinking, walking into that church, thinking, is this going to be destroyed during Armageddon? Are we going to preserve this kind of architecture as a museum to show people what things used to be, what kind of a propaganda was being portrayed for followers? Because this is all built for propaganda, nothing else. This is supposed to be St. Mark's Chapel, Basilica, and there's a whole bunch of stories here, that his body is inside, and that he's the one who wrote the gospel about Jesus. None of that is true if you just do a little bit of digging. And this is what people believe. People believe that, he had a vision about being in Venice, so they brought his body over here. A whole bunch of myths that were used for people to believe and to indoctrinate people. Still until today, a whole bunch of Catholics, they make a trip here, they come, and you can see them on their knees, begging for forgiveness, praying to God, hoping that this place somehow will heal their soul and they'll have a better chance of living in heaven instead of purgatory or hell. That still is happening, but the beauty about this today is that you can stand right next to them. You disagree with what they believe. You kind of have to respect what they do. You don't have to agree with it, and it's totally fine. You can walk into their place of worship. You can be a Muslim, you can be an atheist, whoever. And there is no violence, there is no punishment for believing something different. That's the beauty about living in those last days, as we talk about. We're living in days where none of that religious freedom was available to people, common people, ever before. This is what's truly extraordinary for us. It's that freedom that we have, freedom to think, freedom to believe, freedom to worship, freedom to disagree. And something that maybe there are still some consequences for that freedom, but they're nowhere near what there used to be in the past. And sometimes looking at places like this help us with a perspective to see that, you know what, maybe our life is truly magnificent compared to what it used to be for the common people. So thank you for watching. Enjoy the life that we have, because you know what? It has never been better. Talk to you soon.